Being a New York Jets fan is like being that guy who bets on a broken down racehorse because, hey, it's due for a comeback. You know better, but every season you convince yourself that this time things will be different. A new coach, a promising quarterback, a draft class that somehow looks like a collection of future Hall of Famers. Until they actually play. The offseason is your drug. You devour training camp clips like they're hidden messages, scroll through mock drafts like sacred texts, and argue with strangers online about the potential you've convinced yourself is real. This is it, you tell yourself. The rebuild that actually works. You buy the jerseys. You plan your Sundays. You've seen this movie before, but you still think it'll have a different ending. Then week 1 arrives. The offense looks like a group project where nobody studied. The offensive line collapses like a Jenga tower in an earthquake. The defense tackles like they're allergic to contact. And just like that, your dreams of a 10-win season morph into the familiar nightmare of a top 5 draft pick. But you don't quit. You find silver linings. Well, our rookie showed promise in garbage time. We almost won in week 3. You cling to hope like it's a life raft. And the worst part? You start doing the math. If we win out and 3 other teams lose and a meteor hits Foxborough, we can still make the playoffs. The eternal optimism isn't just a trait, it's an illness. You know better, but you always come back, convincing yourself that this time, maybe, just maybe it'll be different. Being a Jets fan means living in a never-ending football horror film, where the monster is always the quarterback position. Every few years, you hear the same lines. This guy is the future. He's got the arm talent. He's a leader. And every few years, the ending is the same. A broken down, confused young man running for his life behind an offensive line that blocks about as well as a screen door in a hurricane. It starts with the draft, the sacred ritual of hope that transforms into heartbreak at warp speed. Analysts gush over your newest savior, a young quarterback with a rocket arm and a dazzling college highlight reel. He's the next Joe Namath, they say. You buy the jersey. You memorize his college stats, and you convince yourself he's the one to break the curse. Then the games begin. A promising drive turns into a nightmare. Your franchise savior is sacked, throws picks, and starts seeing ghosts on Monday Night Football. The pocket collapses faster than your optimism, and your so-called savior looks like he's auditioning for a role as a tackling dummy. But the Jets don't just struggle with quarterbacks, they destroy them. Mark Sanchez's legacy is a butt fumble. Geno Smith's claim to fame is getting his jaw broken by a teammate. Sam Darnold was haunted by ghosts, and Zach Wilson became the poster child for overpromised and underdelivered. Your friends, who cheer for real NFL teams, find it hilarious. Who's starting for the Jets this week? They ask, pretending not to know. You've watched other teams find franchise quarterbacks while blindfolded. The Chiefs, the Chargers, the Bengals. Meanwhile, your search for a savior feels like watching toddlers try to complete a jigsaw puzzle. The Jets don't just struggle with quarterbacks, they ruin them. Careers are derailed, potential is squandered, and you come back every season, staring into the abyss and whispering, maybe this time. Hiring a head coach as a Jets fan is like signing up for a dating app where every match ghosted you in the past. Adam Gase, the offensive genius who looked like a deer in headlights. Todd Bowles, the defensive guru whose team couldn't defend. Rex Ryan, the mouthpiece who promised rings and delivered heartbreak. It's a cruel ritual. The coaching search begins with grandiose promises and press conferences where each new hire talks about changing the culture and building a winning mentality. You buy in because you always do. A new era, a fresh start. And then the games begin. Mismanaged timeouts, fourth quarter collapses, clock management that looks like a toddler playing with a stopwatch. You watch coaches transform from confident leaders to shell-shocked survivors, lost souls clutching a clipboard and staring blankly at the field. The press conferences are the worst. The optimistic slogans turn to damage control. We have to clean things up. We're learning. We'll evaluate everything. You've heard them all. They're the chance of defeat. And then it ends. Another firing. Another fresh search. Another poor soul stepping into the role of a Jets head coach. You don't hire head coaches. You collect them like a bad habit. You could swear that the Jets coaching search is just a reality show, where the prize is a contract and a guaranteed public humiliation. Let's be honest, being a Jets fan is mostly just hating the Patriots. It's a toxic relationship where you hate them, they ignore you, and every once in a while, they slap you around just to remind you who's boss. Tom Brady is your lifelong tormentor. The man who could be on his 3rd divorce, running a retirement home, and still find time to throw for 300 yards against the Jets. Bill Belichick is the shadowy emperor of evil, mumbling his way to victory while dressed like a medieval executioner. You spent 2 decades waiting for the Patriots to fall. You celebrated the rumors of Brady's decline like national holidays. This is it, the end of an empire, except it wasn't. Even after Brady left, they kept winning. Backup QBs you've never heard of become instant legends. Receivers who sound like they were plucked from a local rec league torch your secondary. The worst part? They don't even care about you. You're not their rival. You're their emotional support punching bag. They've moved on to real rivalries with the Bills and Dolphins, while you sit there writing angry poems about a team that probably forgot you existed the moment Brady left town. Your hatred doesn't even register to them. You're the little brother they barely notice, raging in the background while they polish their trophies. And just when you think the torment is over, they beat you again with a backup, a third stringer, or some washed-up veteran they signed 3 days before kickoff. Beating the Jets is a Patriots tradition, like turkey on Thanksgiving or bad weather in Foxborough. You don't just hate them, you fear them. They're your boogeyman, a specter that never goes away. And every time you think you're free, they drag you back to reality. It's not just a play, it's a curse. The butt fumble isn't just a blooper, it's the Mona Lisa of sports disasters, forever hanging in the gallery of NFL embarrassment. Thanksgiving 2012. Mark Sanchez crashes into his own lineman's backside, the ball pops out, and the Patriots scoop it up for a touchdown. But it didn't end there. The butt fumble became a brand, a cultural phenomenon. It's shown in every worst plays in NFL history montage. It's a joke that refuses to die. You could cure diseases, win the lottery, or climb Mount Everest, and somehow would still greet you with, "Hey, you're a Jets fan. Butt fumble, right?" It's not just a lowlight, it's your legacy. Other teams have bad moments. You have a cursed artifact. Every Thanksgiving, it gets replayed as a reminder of your eternal misery, a cursed holiday tradition for Jets fans. But the butt fumble isn't just a play, it's a prophecy. Every failed drive, every boneheaded mistake, every blown lead, they're all spiritual sequels to that one iconic disaster. The butt fumble isn't just a moment in time, it's a mirror reflecting the Jets' entire existence. It has transcended football. It's a cultural punchline. You don't just watch the butt fumble, you live it. Your friends text you about it. Strangers bring it up. It's your identity, a scarlet letter of sports fandom. Other teams get defining moments. You get a blooper that turned into a biography. It's your permanent tattoo, your twisted coat of arms, your ghost that never leaves. You don't just watch the butt fumble, you relive it. Every season, every game, it replays in new, humiliating forms. A fumble on the goal line, a pick six off a deflection, a blown coverage that ends a playoff dream. The butt fumble is a state of being. And just when you think it's finally faded, some sports show replays it. A fresh generation of fans learns to laugh at your misery. The NFL can't resist. It's too perfect. An eternal reminder that for the Jets, even rock bottom has a trapdoor. The NFL draft is your Super Bowl. Except instead of winning trophies, you win the right to ruin another talented college kid's career. Every spring, you're promised hope, but you know it's really just a fresh batch of potential wasted. You scout the top prospects, you watch highlight reels, you read mock drafts like sacred texts, you pore over 40-yard dash times and vertical leap measurements like they're ancient prophecies. You convince yourself that this year is different, and then it happens. Your team is on the clock. The analysts say the Jets are about to make a great pick. Your heart races. Then they call a name you didn't expect, a name you've never heard. A developmental project who was projected for the 3rd round? Other teams draft stars. Your draft shattered confidence. Your can't-miss prospects miss everything. Tackles, reads, and wide-open receivers. They don't just fail, they implode. They become punchlines on talk shows. They leave and become Pro Bowlers somewhere else. Every name called feels like a coin flip, except the coin has 2 bust sides. The draft isn't hope for you, it's a public execution of another player's potential. You don't build a roster, you build a graveyard of wasted talent. A hall of heartbreak where the ghosts of failed draft picks roam, reminding you that even on your best day, the Jets can turn promise into pain. And you never learn. Every spring you watch, you hope, and you talk yourself into believing that this time will be different. But it never is. The draft is your annual funeral for hope, and you attend it willingly. Being a Jets fan is like signing up for an emotional roller coaster where the tracks are always broken. It's pain disguised as hope, heartbreak repackaged as loyalty. You watch games, you buy jerseys, you argue with friends who have real teams, and every year you tell yourself, this is the year. It never is. But you don't just watch, you endure. You become a scholar of suffering. You know the names of backup quarterbacks from the 90s. You remember every almost season like war stories. You cling to memories of Joe Namath like ancient myths. You don't cheer, you survive. Every Sunday is a new test of your emotional endurance. Every offseason is a masterclass in cautious optimism. You're not just a fan, you're a hostage to hope, forever chained to a franchise that treats success like a myth and mediocrity like an old friend. But you won't leave. You can't, because you're a Jets fan. And no amount of losing, embarrassment, or heartbreak will ever change that.